This is WKRG News 5 breaking news.
We are following the breaking news, the fiery crash of that Blue Angels jet this afternoon. We want to go now to a press conference in Smyrna, Tennessee with the very latest information.
Today, just after 3 o'clock today, we received a call in dispatch that there had been an accident involving a plane. Accident was directly behind me, behind the Sam Davis home. It has been confirmed that it was, in fact, a Blue Angel that went down, and there was one fatality. Our police and fire departments responded appropriately. There were no other injuries, no civilian injuries. We currently have the crash scene sealed off, pending an investigation by the United States military and the FAA, and I think that they are headed this direction to conduct a full investigation. The Blue Angels have released on their website a statement pertaining to the accident, and I would encourage you to read their statement. And at this point, that's pretty much the extent of what we have to say regarding the accident. If there are questions, I have people here with me that are from police and fire that may answer more specific questions.
Just to be clear, it was the pilot of the jet that was killed?
Yes.
Chief Culbertson, I heard there were several fires, not just from the impact. Is that from the power lines that came down with the plane?
We did have live power lines down at ran. We did have live power lines that ran from Meadowwood Apartments all the way up to the Sam Davis home, and there was numerous burn areas. Yes, ma'am.
I have in front of me the release from the Blue Angels. If you'd like, I'll read it. It's probably a 2-minute reading. Smyrna, Tennessee, a United States Navy FA-18 aircraft assigned to the Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels, crashed today during the beginning stages of an afternoon practice in Smyrna, Tennessee airport at approximately 3:01 p.m. Pilot of the jet was taking off to start the afternoon practice when the mishap occurred. The name of the pilot is being withheld pending next of kin notification requirements. The other 5 Blue Angels were not involved in the incident and landed safely moments later. The crash occurred approximately 2 miles from the runway. The Navy will conduct an investigation into the cause of the crash. For additional information or updates, contact the Public Affairs Office in Commander, Naval Air Force Pacific by calling 619-767-1623. Again, that's 619-767-1623 or 1625.
Will the air show go on as planned?
I've actually talked to John Black, who's Smyrna Airport Authority in charge, and they are contemplating whether to go forward or not. There's no decision been made, is my understanding. Might also add that there were no, I think I mentioned there were no civilian injuries. We had power outage some homes, but there were no other utility issues in Smyrna. I'm real proud of our police department. They cordoned off the area. We diverted traffic in the appropriate direction, and we're just grateful there were no other injuries.
Has the pilot's family been notified?
I do not know.
How many homes lost power and has it been restored?
Anybody aware of that?
My knowledge right now, the Sam Davis home is the only thing out of power.
How many homes lost power?
To my knowledge, I don't believe any did. I believe it was all behind the Meadowwood apartment complex, and they were able to leave theirs on, but just...
Have you been out to the scene? Can you kind of tell us what it looks like out there? I've been told it's very large in scope.
We've been there. I think it would be a little premature for us to discuss that pursuant to the Navy and FAA investigation. I'd prefer not to say anything.
Was the impact close to any residential home? Anything?
No, I don't think so. You know, it was pretty specific to one area, probably I'd say half to 3/4 miles away.
Was the Sam Davis home open at the time?
Yes.
How far away was it from the Sam Davis home?
It was, I'd say, a couple hundred yards.
Several hundred yards.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are there any special precautions you have to take when dealing with a fire involving a jet of this magnitude, this size?
Well, with every fire, I mean, there's a danger to it. But right now, at this time, we're working with the Navy and our hazmat team to make arrangements to do the cleanup out there. But yes, there's always a danger, and when you have any type of incident like that, ma'am.
Any idea right now what could have caused this plane to go down?
Absolutely not. We don't know, and I presume that's what they'll be investigating.
Is weather a factor?
I don't know.
Did they give any indication how long the investigation will take when they'll have some information?
They did not. I've had a couple conversations with the Blue Angels, and needless to say, they're scrambling to, to get the units up here to investigate. So, they're probably not going to share a lot with us.
When can we know the pilot's name?
Yeah, I presume when they release it. Yeah.
Any idea from how long, when the crash occurred, how long it took emergency responders to get to the scene?
Well, fortunately, we were on the flight line along with the Smyrna Rutherford County Airport Authority Fire Department, as well as the police. We were on the scene in just minutes, sir.
Can you tell us what's in the area, what's around the crash site?
Well, thankfully, it was went down in a field behind the Sam Davis home. Probably the closest residence would be the Meadowwood Apartments.
Does the jet have a black box?
I have no idea. I'm sure they have diagnostic instruments to check what happened, but I don't know.
Do you know if there was a distress call sent out or anything like that?
I do not know.
Do you know if military personnel will be speaking to the press?
Well, they have issued that first release. He did not indicate to me that they would be issuing any kind of press conference. They did indicate
That's kind of the situation
that if you're in search of answers, to call that number I provided. Other than that, I don't know.
Has there ever been anything like this at Smyrna Airport?
Well, we've had a couple crashes over the years, but nothing. I don't think that involved like this type of aircraft.
Give you any indication when roads will be able to reopen?
Well, I will. Where's Sergeant Gibson? Roads reopening.
At this time, again, we're here in support of the investigating agencies, federal investigating agencies, and until we know it's safe and allowing the traffic of emergency responders to be able to freely come and go, we ask that everyone just be patient. We do have Sam Davis from one side to the other completely closed. I believe Murfreesboro Road, Sam Ridley Parkway, and Nissan Boulevard, if they're not open at this time, will be opened up fairly soon.
Can you talk to us about what your agencies are doing in supporting the military in this investigation?
Again, we're a support agency until the scene is taking over completely by whether it be FAA, NTSB, or the military. We are containing the scene and keeping anyone out of the scene. That's our primary function, to support them.
Has this inhibited any aircraft from coming into the airport or the actual sort of logistics of the air show tomorrow?
Chief, you know that. Not to my knowledge, although the Airport Authority and the FAA has put a 2-mile air restriction around this incident, and it will probably stay into effect until the investigation is over.
You know, anytime there's an air show of this magnitude, there are federal regulations with respect to airport usage anyway. And I don't know that it's altered that in any capacity, but I don't, at the same time, I know they're taking precautions. I don't, as you obviously can see, we're limited with respect to what we know at the current time, and maybe the conduit to subsequent information might be through the Angels or the office in Pensacola. Having said that, if there are no other questions, we appreciate you being here, and again, we're deeply saddened by what happened today.
I have a question. How big is the area that you're blocking off? So you're in charge, the local authorities are in charge of blocking off the scene. How big?
What would you say, Bill?
Probably, we're probably covering a good 8 acres.
8 acres.
Can you tell us when was the last time Smyrna had an air show, or if the Blue Angels have visited in the past?
I think it was 2 years ago. They've been coming pretty consistently every 2 years.
And would you say that's something folks enjoy having? Is it something?
Oh, absolutely. It's well attended, a big event for not only our community, but for the state of Tennessee. You know, the Blue Angels are probably the premier, air precision team in the world. And, we're flattered and honored to have them, and it's just heartbreaking to see this happen.
How long will this investigation go? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea, no ma'am. Okay, we appreciate your...
Can you give us an idea how...
And you have been listening to officials there in Smyrna, Tennessee, give us more details about the fiery crash of that Blue Angels jet. No doubt so many people were looking forward to the Tennessee Air Show coming up this weekend. New details that we just learned. We know that this crash happened 1 minute after takeoff, and then during that time, some type of mishap happened on board the plane, and the plane went down just 2 miles from the runway. One thing the officials there in Tennessee were emphasizing is the fact that no one on the ground, no civilians were injured, and this plane crashed behind an apartment complex. So that certainly is amazing that no one else was hurt. We know that Captain Jeff Cuss is dead, a very decorated member of the Blue Angels team, and we will have much more on this crash tonight on News 5 at 6. I'm Devin Walsh with this breaking news update. We will now rejoin the CBS Evening News.
Stay tuned to WKRG News 5 for continuing news coverage.